The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a big fish in a small pond, got my days free and my nights long. I create my own reality, who I am is fine with me. As famous as I wanna be, who I am is fine with me. It's who I am, it's who I am, who I am is fine with me.
Hey everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? All right, so I'm hoping we're live. This thing is just spinning a little bit. I'm hoping it goes through. I know it's going through on the radio station, but let's hope it goes through on this. Okay, if you guys can see me out there or hear me out there, please let me know. I know there's a lot of problems lately, and I'm just hoping that you can see me. So if you can see me, please let me know, okay? All right, so I'm going to start with a song. Jimmy, I'm getting an echo for some reason. Okay, the world is upside down again. All right, let's see. We did go live. Maybe I'll start again. Okay, hold on, guys. I'll come right back, but I'm still on the radio. Asking to confirm that you want to leave. Data enter did not be saved. Okay, leave page. Okay, so radio station, hang in there with me. We're coming back on. This is Maria from What's the Story with Maria. We got a great show for you, so don't disappear yet. We are trying to go live here. And we're having a little bit of a Facebook issue, but I think we should be able to come back momentarily. Okay, this should do it. Let's see. Let's go live again. Okay, there it is. I think we're live now. Okay, great. So we should be back here. We have started on the radio again. This is Maria. My name is Maria Gentili. My show is What's the Story with Maria. This is June 2nd, 2020. And we are in the middle of a very intense, frightening, strange, scary, and important time in our country's history for many reasons. I'm going to start the show tonight with a song that I absolutely love that wanted, this is the reason that I chose this to do the show tonight and to form it the way that it's formed. So this is, Jimmy, I'm getting an echo again for some reason. I don't know why.
It seems to be coming through your mic.
Okay. Well, all right, here we go. So I'm going to play this song. This is a song written by my friend Bobby Belfry, and it inspired me really to do this show tonight. Here it is. It's called Ear of the World. I'll play a little of it, and then Bobby's is going to call in a minute or so.
These days, love seems like an act of rebellion. It's too easy to be cynical if we ever reach the pinnacle of these self-destructive ways. How could we find grace? Tomorrow can be more than just another day, where communion is the status quo and evil has no chance to grow. In the heart of the universe, light will disperse. If you ever have the ear of the world, say something beautiful, say something new. If you ever have the ear of the world, say something powerful. precious and true. Salvation.
All right, here's Bobby. Hi, Bobby. How are you, honey?
I'm good, baby. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not sure if we're coming through Facebook. I was hoping we were, but... Oh, okay, good. So it's coming through. Okay, so you can see me then?
Hi, Bobby. How are you, honey? Oh, no, I can't see you. I can hear you, though.
Okay, so you can hear me through Facebook?
Oh, okay, good. So it's coming Armed radio.
Oh, armed radio. Okay, great. All right, so you know what? Maybe you want to lower that because I'm getting an echo back.
I shut it off.
Okay, great. All right, sweetheart. So here's what I want to... The reason I wanted you to call in tonight, and I really appreciate you doing that because as you reminded me, it's Blackout Tuesday, and so we're trying to be respectful of that. But we are going live with the show. And I was listening to your song, Ear of the World, and it just... I mean, I love the song anyway, but it really, like, blew my mind and woke me up and reminded me, like, that I had to do something. I had to be part of a solution. And I had to be part of, like, being a bridge. Like, I really listened to the song, and it was like, it really blew my mind. Now, when did you write that song?
I wrote it in 2003 with Stephen Ray Watkins.
Oh, I love him. He's amazing. And what prompted you to write that?
You know what? I was living in Astoria, and I was vacuuming my living room, and I just started humming the chorus, and it went from there, really. But it was just after 9/11. Yeah.
Oh, exactly, and it's so powerful. It really is so powerful. It's amazing. And I really appreciate you, sharing it with people. And if they want to find it, Bobby, how do they find it?
Well, you can stream it anywhere. You can download it at Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartMusic, anywhere. You can stream it. You could buy the CDs out of my trunk,
Okay, yeah. Oh, I got those. I have those. But I want people to be able to find it. And
download it. You can get them on Amazon, anywhere.
Okay, and you, what was the intention behind it? Because I like, now it may mean different things, but what did you mean by if you have the ear of the world? Because I know what it means to me, but.
Well, at the time, it was a very negative time. The Iraq War was beginning, and it's just, everybody was just as hateful as they are right now, to tell you the truth. And I just felt like I wanted to hear people say nice things about one another and basically just tell the truth about one another rather than, chopping each other down.
Right. And do you feel, in your opinion, that the world has changed? I mean, I feel like we were doing better for a while.
Well, it feels like it's two steps forward, one step back,
Yeah. And how are you guys holding up at home?
We're doing fine. We have our baby, and, she keeps us up, and we're doing great. We have a backyard, so we're very lucky.
Yeah, that's true. I think that does help very much. So, Okay, now I think that we might be coming through. I don't know. I think Facebook's having a little bit of an issue tonight, and I can't put my finger on it. But this has happened before. What are you going to do? And I think everybody's on it, and it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on. But okay, so we've definitely come through live now. But this is going to go into podcast. So I want to tell the Facebook people, now that we've come on Facebook, I have Bobby Belfry on the line, and he wrote this most beautiful, he's written many beautiful songs, but this song that he wrote that I want everybody to please go and get on Amazon or iTunes, or you can stream it anywhere. It's called Ear of the World, Heart of the Universe. I played a little bit of it when we first started. And
you can also see the video on YouTube.
I love the video, and you're so beautiful. Yeah. And then you have a full band there, right?
Yeah. Stephen Ray Watkins, the whole band.
And you have
Roger Cohen.
It's just gorgeous. So I wanted you to call in because I wanted to thank you and tell you that your song really inspired me. It inspired my show. I want to do something. I want to be part of the solution, and I want to be part of helping whoever needs help right now.
Well, you are, honey. You are. You're the greatest. Nobody uplifts us more than you. You're like the mama of our community.
Well, honey, thank you.
Community. We love you.
Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. And
absolutely, hon.
I just wrote, I couldn't get over how beautiful these lyrics were. So I'm hoping towards the end of the show, I'm going to play it again. The song says, if you ever have the ear of the world, say something beautiful, say something new. If you ever have the ear of the world, say something powerful, righteous, and true. And I think we could really all use that message. So I want to thank you, Bobby, and I'm going to play the song again at the end. Leo has already posted the YouTube version. So great on Facebook. So everybody, please, at the end of the show, go and listen to Bobby, and it's a song that's going to get you through this very, very difficult time.
Thank you, baby.
I love you, honey. Please hug your family for me and be safe, and God bless you, all of you.
I love you too, sweetheart. Be well and be safe, be happy.
Okay.
And I cannot wait to see you again and work with you.
You too, and I have some makeup for Rosie, so I might mail it to you guys. I got some cute little makeup things for Rosie.
Awesome.
All right, love you, honey. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you too. Bye.
All right, bye. Okay, so that is my friend Bobby Belfry. Yeah, there's the rest of the song. So beautiful.
We change behavior. Our words bring out the hidden savior. From the heart of the universe, fear will reverse.
Fear will reverse. Just listen to it, it's so pretty.
If you ever have the ear of the world, say something beautiful, say something new. If you ever have the ear of the world, say something powerful, righteous and true.
Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love that song. All right, so I'll play it again at the end, and please go and find that. It's just the most beautiful song. And, I was listening to it this week. I think Bobby might have posted it, and I was very moved. Lately, I don't know, I usually book my guests way in advance when life was the way it was. And, my show is about creative people and people doing shows and people creating all kinds of art. And I like to have them on before they launch what they're doing. And the last 10 weeks, I don't ever remember anything in my life like this, anything. And the pandemic was and all that staying at home and sheltering in place and people getting sick and just living in New York and seeing every business that I work with and work for, just shut down and not know if they're coming back. It's been my heart is just frozen in fear all the time. And so I'm a positive person, and I try to turn the wheels to always come up with good things. And then this last week has been like nothing I've ever seen in my life. And I just, when I heard Bobby's song again, I don't know where you live, but I think in every country wherever you live in the country right now, things are really, really, really difficult. No matter where you are, who your family is, who your coworkers are, who you love, it's a really difficult time. And Bobby's song said, if you ever have the ear of the world. And I thought, well, that to me means leadership, and it also means people in television, or maybe people in radio. So in other words, if people are listening, you have a captive audience, say something beautiful. Those are his lines. And I'm like, I want to be that person. I want to be the person in my little small circle and although I have so many great people in my circle, it's not even a joke. I mean, it's like I'm surrounded by beautiful people that think with open hearts. But someone is texting me. I think it might be, let me see, someone is trying to tell me that it's not coming through, but I think that was before. Okay, so can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, because it's been a Facebook issue tonight again. They're being very tricky. No sound, people are saying. That's very strange. Okay. All right, let's try this. Can you guys hear me now? I'm going to try it without the mic. Maybe this is what It's been a very, very strange night. How are we doing? Does it sound better? Can you guys tell me? I'm not using my microphone. I'm going to go without a mic. Okay, so Kenney, my friend Kenney Green's going to call in any minute. And Kenney, please feel free to... No sound on Facebook. Oh, boy. God help me. I don't know. I'm going to just keep going, I guess. Because, okay, so here's what you guys can do. Easiest solution for now. Okay, Leo, let me see. If you guys can hear me now, please type it in. If you can hear me, okay. If not, I don't know what to do here. Because I have 800 things coming. Thanks, Leo. I'm hearing the sound on the link and view on the Facebook. Okay, so the link is, Facebook is having some serious issues. So the link is, let me see, type it in. Still no sound here on Facebook. Okay. Let me type it in. Armed digital media.com or Armed Radio Global. Okay. Okay, so we're having trouble. All right, I'm going to keep going because I'm on the radio station, and this is good news. This is really good news. Okay. So what's happening here is that we've had to restart the video. Okay. Hi, Kenney. Hang on for 1 minute, honey. I'm starting the video again. Can you guys hear me now? Let me see. Are you watching Facebook, Kenney?
Adam's watching outside.
Okay, so you know what? I'm going to restart it because we're having a couple of problems with the sound. It's very strange. Facebook something's going on. It's probably overloaded or something like that. But just hang in there, honey. I'm going to bring us right back in. So let me see. Yeah, but we're still on the radio and we're going live, and that will go into podcast. So hopefully our friends will be able to hear us. Now, sweetheart, you are upstate right now, right?
I am. I'm in Westport, New York.
Okay, and how is that going for you? Is it more relaxing being out of the city? Or do you miss the city? How do you feel about it?
I miss the city. City's home, but my shoulders are down. I don't have to watch my back, and I'm relaxed. I'm breathing mountain air, so it's nice.
I know. Now, honey. Okay, so you guys can. Okay, we can hear you now. Okay. So I have Kenney Green on the line. He is my wonderful friend. I adore him. And, I was just telling, and you guys can go back and listen to the podcast because that'll be in its totality. Bobby Belfry called in. I talked about his beautiful song, which really moved me. And then Kenney Green, I asked Kenney, everyone is really struggling. Everyone is struggling with what's happening right now in the world, with the pandemic, with the economy, and then with the horrible, savage death of George Floyd. But before that, let's not forget Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. These are three people that within weeks have just had their lives taken away from them. And it's thrown everybody into a sad, horrible state. And people are reacting to it in different ways. And, the reason I asked you, Kenney, is because I feel very comfortable with you. And you're a very compassionate person. And I want to explain, I have friends that are of all races. And I have genders, sexual orientation, socioeconomic levels. I have friends that are police officers that I love. And I have my African-American friends that I love, and I am so brokenhearted for both sides, and I am brokenhearted for the world, and I want to be part of the solution. So I said, a lot of people, like when they see Black Lives Matter, they'll say things like, well, all lives matter. And of course, all lives matter, but I wanted, and I know what Black Lives Matter means because I've had I've been educated by people that explained what that meant to me, even though I don't consider myself a racist by any bone in my body. But I didn't understand what it really meant. So would you be so kind to explain to people what that means when people say Black Lives Matter?
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, yes, definitely we have the 3 horrible deaths within the past month and a half, within weeks of each other. But
just bring up your voice a tiny bit, sweetheart, because it's just a tiny bit. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah. So of course, like, as you mentioned, we had those 3 horrible deaths within a month, a month and a half, weeks apart of each other. But it goes beyond those deaths. It goes to the abuse of power by the police, consistently oppressing Black people. And I just want to clarify that that when we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying that police lives do not matter. What we're saying is when situations like this arise, and luckily now we're in the age of digital where we can capture everything on video, and repercussions and punishments for those acts by police officers. And we know that there are a handful of bad apples in the bunch as a whole. We know that cops signed up to be cops to do good for people. But when there is not an uprising from the inside over the tarnishment of their own brotherhood,
right,
that's when we speak up and say that Black Lives Matter. We should not see a situation like George Floyd where they're 2.5 months to an arrest.
Right.
We should not see someone like the Trayvon, like I know it's
well,
not,
that was the worst thing. I mean, and that's not resolved.
Was the worst of all.
Yeah.
And it's unresolved, and we should not see when there comes a time in the country where we can see justice for wrongful death, then we will continue to say Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And we're not saying that not all lives matter. And once everybody understands that it's continuously happening, hey, look, it's been happening since the 60s. This is nothing new.
Right.
We just now have captured it.
Right.
And shared it with the world.
Right. Because of video and things like that. And
exactly.
And how is your family? They're in California, right?
My family's in California, yeah.
Are they far enough away from all the protests? Or
yeah, I mean, my family is huge, and in comparison, I'm fairly young, even though I'm 43. I'm fairly young as opposed to the rest of my family.
Yeah.
So they're not really protesting, and they're home taking care of their lives. I taking care of my dad, and
Now, your mom's. I'm Facebook friends with your mom. She's so incredibly cool. Shout out to Donna Jack Wiley. I love that woman.
I believe she's listening.
She cracks me up, and she's so great and such a bright light. And I wonder what goes through her mind to have seen the way it was and the way it is now, and how it has changed and how it's not changed.
It's interesting because I grew up with stories of my mother. My mother was born in 1967, so I grew up with stories of her in school, with, the N-bomb being dropped and from classmates and stuff like that. And my mother didn't like the school that she went to and transferred herself without my grandmother knowing to go to another school.
Wow. Wow.
So,
she's a Spitfire.
Yeah. So, I grew up with stories like that, and I know what it's like. How do I put this best? We still have people walking this earth who are around for the civil rights movement.
Yeah, Jesus.
Alive and breathing. So why cause a shock to anybody else in this country is beyond me. The rage comes from the fact that nothing has changed and it's 2020.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I got to tell you, I do feel like, you know, this is like, I haven't heard one person, and including Fox News, which baffled me. Like, I watched it all day today because that's not my station. My station is MSNBC, but I like to listen to all of them because I like to see what everyone is listening to. You know, if I'm only listening, yeah, and I'm only listening to my side and everybody agrees with me, then I want to know what the country is listening to. And I gotta say, like, I was shocked at the last 2 days that they were all saying, like, nobody could argue with this. This is a savage murder. And hearing them say it, I was like, oh my God. Like, I never expect them to say something that I see. You know, we see things very differently. And I really said, you know, and there were so many religious like spiritual leaders, I should say, and they had civil rights people on, and they had like so many great guests today that I was like, I feel like something shifted, and I can't explain, you know, and I'm like so disturbed by the looting because I think that it just takes away from what people are really trying to do, which is protest.
Well, I have a theory on that.
Okay.
My theory on the looting and the rioting, I'm not a proponent of violence. I absolutely am not.
Me neither.
But I explained to a friend of mine earlier today, a fellow radio talking to Julie James earlier today, and we were having a discussion, and the only quote that I could come up with, she asked me, she said, what do you think the answer is? And I said, you know what, I don't know if I know this answer because the problem is as such. We've moved from civil rights, we've moved into, well, let's fast forward, we've gone to, we weren't allowed to kneel.
Right, you weren't, right.
Right. We weren't allowed to kneel because that was disrespectful.
Oh my God, you're right.
We could not stand during the Star Spangled Banner. We could sit during the Star Spangled Banner because that was disrespectful, and we were going against the grain of the very fabric of the country that people were fighting for.
Right.
We could not protest quietly, or we couldn't protest calmly because then we get rubber bullets shot at us.
Right.
So what would somebody, when you keep banging your head against the wall, asking your nation to change, and nothing happens, you're just going to get a national confusion. And that's what has happened.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know, like, I think it's so funny because Colin Kaepernick, I think about him all the time. And I think, what was this man doing that was so bad? Like, he was quiet. You're right. And thank you for reminding me. By the way, your mother, Donna Jack, who you know I love, just popped up on my Facebook Messenger to say she loved me. Donna Jack, if you're out there, I adore you and your son. I mean, how cute is that she like sent me a little secret message? I love you. I know.
I love her.
Thank you for reminding me and our listeners, because, you know, we have such amazing listeners, and, you know, the radio show goes across on Armed Radio, goes across the country in 66 other countries, and then it goes into podcasts, and I want people to hear these things. These are important things to hear, you know, and I feel like I'm in a position to give people a voice and let people hear different sides that they might not know. They just might not know. You know, my father is a really cute guy. He's an amazing guy. And, like, my family's not racist at all. And he said to me the other day, you know, he goes, I didn't know. It's like, and he came from the best place. He's 84. He goes, you know, I didn't know a lot of African Americans before I came to New York. But he's a jazz guy, so, like, all his favorite artists were African American. But he didn't, like, in the circles that he ran in Boston, he wasn't around a lot of it, unless he went to a jazz club. And he said to me, because he's been to New York and he's met all my friends, he said, I love your friends. You know, like, and, you know, he, like, loved, like, he's met Michael Woolley and Norm Lewis and Darius and Trent, and, like, he loves my friends. And I thought, like maybe if someone like my dad isn't at all racist, but imagine if someone of my dad's generation had been more exposed to being around other people other than just what he is from, like this world would be different, and that's what I feel like we need. Yeah, we need more of that.
That's what we need. It would be different, and just like I was saying earlier, we still have people walking around this person who are like their civil rights movement. Some of that racism, and I know that I'm not saying that it's out there at full force, but it is out there. Some of those people are also still alive. And it is very much woven into the fabric of this country as well as prominent as the stars in the flag.
Yes, you're right.
To ignore or to pretend like that's not here. And I mean, African American people feel that every day.
I know.
Whether they know it or not, and you try to block it out. You try to go about your way. You try to live as great a life as possible and not hurt anybody. There's going to be that time that you walk into an elevator, somebody's because they're afraid of you, and they don't realize that they're doing it.
Yeah.
But you, as the African American person, definitely realize that it's happening, and it's a very tiny microaggression. But those things, and that's not bad. But a lot of those things start to snowball.
Yes.
You
Kenney, I feel like we could go on forever and ever, and I maybe what I'm hoping is that we can do this, like we can revisit this conversation again, like maybe in a few weeks, and just keep seeing how it progresses, and we could just
I think it'll stay. But
yeah.
I think we're in the thick of the fire, right?
Yes, but I think it's so important that we continue the conversation, and we just keep bridging the gap, and just talking and communicating and connecting. That's what's missing in this country, and I want to be part of that, of the connection, So,
absolutely.
Well, okay, honey, I love you so much. I'm gonna your mom is so cute. I'll text her afterwards. She's just so cute. She keeps writing me little cute things. And I just want you to be safe. I'm glad you're upstate right now, and hopefully everything will blow over and we'll be good again. And we'll be making music. Kenney and I work together and make music, and it's just so fun. And I love you, Kenney.
It's a blast.
All right, honey. Thank you. I have my friend Sergeant Sue calling, and she's retired in NYPD, so I'm gonna have her jump in.
So much.
I love you too, Boo Boo. Take care of yourself. Be safe.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye, honey. Bye, baby. Sue, are you there?
I am here.
Oh, my God. Perfect. And your voice, perfect. Keep it up like that. So
okay,
we were
buddy.
just talking to my friend Kenney Green, amazing musician, musical director, just incredible
yes,
human
I was
being.
listening. It was
Yeah,
really
you
good.
guys would
Really
you'd
good.
love Kenney. He's just amazing, and you know all my friends, but I don't know if you know Kenney, and you would love each other. And Sue, what I'm trying to do, and you and I talk quite a bit and text a lot, and we're always on the same page about stuff. And you always blow my mind because you are so you're very educated, and you really you worked in law enforcement for what you said 24 years.
25 years.
25 years for the NYPD, and tell everybody what you did. I know you're retired now, but tell everybody.
For the first 14 years, I worked in the street. I was on patrol. I also worked a lot of narcotics. I did a lot of flipping people and making them confidential informants, and
Wow.
planning search warrants and executing search warrants. Then I became a sergeant, and I worked in Washington Heights.
Wow, that's my
And
hood.
I was a supervisor for young uniform cops up there when they had that whole big narcotics operation going on up there in 96, 97, 98. There was a big Northern Manhattan Initiative, they called it, to kind of hit the drug operations up there.
Right.
And then I worked in the police academy and taught behavioral science.
Behavioral science.
And cultural competence. And I also taught after 9/11, I taught counterterrorism and how to respond to terrorist attacks involving weapons of mass destruction.
Wow.
And we taught, some of the history of domestic terrorism, homegrown terrorism and, international terrorism. So, I had a pretty good career.
You have so much knowledge. That's what,
different things.
yeah, that's why I wanted you to say it, because you have an extensive knowledge of many different things, and you know what. But that's why you are the perfect person for this conversation. Now, so what Kenney was saying, which I know it and then I forget it, is that what he said was, when Colin Kaepernick was taking that knee, people were so offended. That was a silent protest.
Exactly.
People were offended by that. And then he's like, well, what are we supposed to do? Like, they're offended by that. They're offended if we stand. They're offended. And, he's right. He's right. And
well, I listened to that and I was shaking my head because I put something like that on my Facebook page like a week ago or so. And, that was really used by Trump as a political wedge issue.
right.
A black guy's kneeling, and the national anthem or whatever is playing, and he's not a patriot anymore.
Right.
The black guy.
Do you
The
know?
black guy's
But
not.
do you know who told him to kneel? It was a white soldier. Because I read the behind the scenes of it, and it was a white soldier that he was speaking to that said, because he was going to sit it out. He was going to sit during the national anthem. And he said, no, that's disrespectful to your country. If you want to make a stand when there's a fallen soldier, we kneel. And so he kneeled for the Trayvon Martins of the world, and that's what he was doing. And so when I read that, I was like, oh, well, that's actually quite beautiful, and so I wish people would I wanted people to know that as well, that it was told to him, and it was a white soldier that told him that was a respect to a fallen soldier to do. And I just thought, people need to really know these things. But now,
You're absolutely right. I agree with that.
yeah, and I feel like, okay, so you know what, and you and I agree on this. There is, when trouble happens in a home, when trouble happens in a school, when trouble happens in a city, usually someone shows up and says, okay, everybody listen up. There's usually a leader and says, everybody listen up. We're going to do this together. Listen up. That's how I would do it. This is what, I've worked in schools. I've worked in social work. Everybody has to be, we're all in this together. We're going to work as a team. You rally the troops. And I feel, and I don't know if you agree with me, I think you do agree with, but it seems like there's no one to rally the troops. There's just...
Well, we have, from the top down, where we're really having a struggle as a nation. We don't have an empathetic, compassionate, educated, intelligent leader in our country. We see a buffoon every single day. Every single day he wants to start a problem with somebody. Okay, so when he went out to Long Island and he talked to cops, he told the cops to rough up suspects, right?
Wow.
When you handcuff them, don't be so nice. Don't be so nice to them. A lot of cops love Trump. They love the persona of him, I guess. I guess they feel like, because a lot of cops don't like the liberal mayor.
Right.
They're not into the liberal thing because they think liberals are hard on cops, on law enforcement. So they like the anti-liberal who is Trump.
Right.
And that's why you're seeing some of what you're seeing now, is because they listened to him for 3 years.
Right.
And some of them feel a little emboldened by that.
Wow. Well, thank you
Don't
for
you
saying.
think?
Yeah, I think, yes, I do think.
I think so too. I mean, when I see the media being arrested, they're not doing anything wrong.
The
They're just
media.
being arrested. When CNN,
Well,
I don't know what his name was being arrested on live
his name is
TV.
Simone. I can't think of his last name right now, but
And you've never seen that before. And I've
no.
never
But
seen
did
it
you
before
see
in
the
my life.
Did you see never? Did you see the footage in Louisville, Kentucky, the other day, where there was a woman? She was reporting, and they literally pointed the rubber bullet guns at her and her cameraman and started shooting. They were doing nothing. And that...
So that mentality comes from somewhere, right?
Right.
The cops don't just say, hey, we know it'd be fun. Let's go shoot at the media because they've got cameras rolling.
Right, but
how smart.
Right.
You know, I mean...
So if they're given permission, they're given permission from the guy that...
Exactly.
Look, here's what my mother used to say, and we talked about this too, the fire thing. My mother used to say, she'd say it in Italian, but translated was, beware of that person that is the fire starter. Because they throw something in, start a fire, and then hide their hands. Pretend like, oh, I don't know what happened, there's a fire, somebody help. And that's how I see... what's happening is like this fire, these fires, literal and figuratively, are started everywhere by inciting. Yeah, go get him. Go get him. It's like pushing a dog, like just pushing a tired dog and saying, sick him, go get him, kid.
And he always says the same thing. Oh, I was only kidding. But I didn't mean it that way. He's only joking. He was only joking.
Right.
Only kidding around. Well, you know what? He wasn't kidding around when he said.
Right.
But, you know, I digress. I mean, you've seen this from the beginning when the Mexicans are rapists and they're not sending their best, you know. Right from when he came down that escalator or whatever, and he had to start hitting on immigrants and how terrible they are and, you know, people of color. And, you know, he started right then. So, you know, he's a classist and he's a racist and he's a xenophobe.
Right.
And that's what he's spread for almost 4 years now. That's what we've heard.
Right, and you know what kills me, Sue, and I don't know if you, I think you do agree with me on this, but he's had so many opportunities, to come in and do the right thing, like over and over, to say, okay, listen, let's try, we're Americans, we're going to pull through this, like so many opportunities that would be even good for his reelection, right? Like if I were him, I think, Jesus, here's my chance to get them all on my side. And he just he can't. His ego, for lack of a better word, trumps his logic. And but the problem is, that's fine if you're ruining your own life, but if you're ruining other people's lives, and look, I think he's ruined the cops as much as he's ruined society, because they're the ones now that are targets. They have bullseyes on their backs now. What, you know?
Yes. Well, you know, I agree with you. And, you know, I mean, you know, going back to George Floyd, what happened to Mr. Floyd was murder. And it was very clear that it was murder. And all Minneapolis had to do was charge the other 3 cops that were standing there. I mean, I believe that we wouldn't be having riots the way we're having, I mean, except for the insurgents that are coming from other groups. I believe that if Minneapolis had acted quicker and said, oh, yeah, we're bringing charges against all 4 of these guys. We're going to do a fast investigation. Yeah. We're going to do this to the best of our ability, get some community leaders out there and start talking to the community, you know, kind of get a handle on it very, very fast. But instead, they kind of slow-rolled it. Right. And the White House kept quiet.
Right. Not a peep. Not a peep.
Didn't want any part of the pandemic. Because none of it's his responsibility.
Right. Absolutely.
You know?
And now you talked about insurgents. Okay, so none of us agree that the looting is a good idea. No, nobody. I haven't talked to one person on any side, any background that says that's a great idea. So what do you think these groups are? What's happening, in your opinion, with all your knowledge?
Well, you know, for many, many years, there have been leftist groups, you know, anarchists, you know, far left anarchists, and, you know, the right-wing extremists, which are like the white nationalists, white, you know, supremacists. And they basically want to tear down society. I mean, the right would love a race war.
Right.
You know, the right would love a race war, and the left would like to tear down capitalism.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, they all have their own agendas. I mean, neither agenda is really helping us right now, is it?
No, neither agenda serves most people. It serves those outside extreme groups.
And then we have a president calling a bunch of people that don't like fascists because he is a fascist, basically, or he's trying to be a fascist.
Well, he would love to be like Putin. I think Putin's his idol.
Yeah, exactly. So, So we have a made-up group named Antifa, or whatever they call them. You know, everybody calls it something else that he blames for everything. You know, the anti-fascist group that's supposed to be all liberals or Democrats.
Right.
You know, we're the ones doing all the destruction. Meanwhile, it's a multitude of groups. And I'm sure that the FBI and law enforcement right now are, as they're arresting people, they're probably looking into their backgrounds and looking into all of those extremist group websites and pages that they have. So they all have social networks.
Right.
You know, they have pages that they all talk on, you know. And they're trying to link them up to see what groups they're in. But some of those groups are really organized, coordinated. I mean, somebody in Chicago, I think the mayor of Chicago said that U-Haul trucks pulled up in the middle of the day, and white people were pouring out of the back of the U-Hauls, and they just started breaking into stores. That's a coordinated attack. That's coordinated looting.
And the mayor of Chicago said that, right. And do you think they're doing that to make it look like, oh, look, Black Lives Matter is having a protest, and they ruined everything?
I do.
Yeah.
I actually do. I think, I mean, you know, let's get honest, though. Like, let's be honest. When we watch the news, I watched the news on New York the other day, and there were a lot of young kids, Hispanic, black, white.
White, right.
And they were in their teens, and they were running into the Nike store, you know, and all these other stores and stealing. I mean, let's get real.
Everybody runs in there, right.
Extremist groups. Yeah.
Right.
So, right now, it's nighttime. There's supposed to be a curfew. The NYPD is admitting it's overwhelmed, too many people, but... So,
well, they're outnumbered. They're completely... Now, what do you think about the National Guard? How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think that's a good idea. I have to say that I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, a lot of my police friends feel the same because they feel like I was listening to a very high up. I can't remember his name off. It wasn't Shea. It wasn't Dermot Shea. It was another guy, and he was saying that. He's like, they don't know the city like we know the city. We know like every corner of the city, and we just need support. And we can do, we can do this. We need support. And I think the curfew is a very good idea. And I think that once they arrested 700 people, I think last night, in the last 2 days, 700 people. And I think they should. These looters should be arrested and they should be prosecuted. I'm all about that. And on all sides, but you can't, in any city, I think every mayor, every governor feels the same way. You can't just come in and destroy things. That doesn't work for anybody. And these businesses are we're in the middle of a pandemic. We have an economic crisis and we're trying to get on our feet. Everybody wants to go back to work. This doesn't help anybody. So let me ask you, because you've been around a lot of different things. What do you think the solution? I know it's a broad question, but what's something that we can start as citizens, everyday citizens, to make it better? What do you think?
Well, what are we making better exactly?
The relations between the two sides.
The fact that black men aren't killed by cops? Like, what part are we making better?
I mean, I love you're just shooting from the hip, and I'm loving this. I'm just kind of painting it over. Like, what I would love to see, because you know me, I'm all about love and all that. I would love to see where people can, like, my dream is that people can cross the line and talk, or hug, or like say, I know how, I have kids too. I know I played basketball and I played hockey, or whatever people talk about that is the same when they're at a bar or when they're at a meeting, or, like things that they have in common, like. Well,
here's the thing. I'm going to start off with just a little bit different. So I don't know how many African American people are in this country. There are about 900,000 law enforcement people in this country that work in this country.
Yeah.
So let's say maybe 500,000 or 400,000 work every day.
Right.
So apparently we do have a lot of good interactions with people.
Right.
On a daily basis. And we hope that the cops that don't belong in a uniform that are doing these things are, few and far between. We just got to get other cops not to feel like they can't speak up.
Right.
The other thing is that what gets me about cops like this guy that murdered Mr. Floyd is he had 18 complaints against him.
Okay, so
all different things.
All right, so as a retired law enforcement person, why would a person have 18 counts against them and it not be addressed? What would cause that to be?
Well, because the hierarchy in that department didn't do anything. The supervision, the higher ups, like let's say the police commissioner or whatever, chiefs or internal investigations, or maybe they don't have any kind of, like we have in New York, CCRB, the Civilian Complaint Review Board.
Right.
We have internal affairs. We have different things in New York that monitor cops' behavior.
Right.
So I don't know what they have in Minneapolis, but the old saying used to be that an active cop would have a lot of complaints. But there comes a time that the line is drawn in the sand where it's like, why does this guy always have the same kind of complaints?
Right.
You know what I mean? An investigation can just be made and say, well, he keeps doing the same thing over and over, So, excuse me. So, the guy probably shouldn't have even been in the street because that's like a time bomb. It's about to go off.
Right, and now they're saying they knew each other, which is...
Yeah, they work in the same bar as security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's... Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that, there has to be more done within a police department and within a city. And, New York City has had in the 80s, 90s, its fair share of stuff, with cops and minorities. And a lot of things changed. And they still will have problems because problems do come up and issues do come up, interactions. So not every cop is a bad cop, but there are a few that possibly...
Well, let me ask you something.
Don't
now,
know how to do it.
How does I know a lot of NYPD, and I love them dearly, and they're beautiful people, and I adore you. You know that, and how does that make you feel when people say and you've been super honest, and I really appreciate it. It's been incredible. But is there a part of you that feels bad when people say awful things that are not true because you are a good cop? You were, you're retired, but you were a great cop, or is it that you don't own that?
Yeah.
It doesn't resonate with you because you were, and...
Well, it will always resonate with me because people always say it to me. Oh, you're still a cop. Oh, you act like a cop. It's like they say it in a way that is kind of like a joke, but I take it well, I guess I am still like a cop because I was a cop when I was 21.
Right, but I love that about you. That's one of the things I love about you. I feel safe with you. You're...
Yeah.
But you're...
I do take it personally, though, when people... Now, cops, I criticize cops too. If you look on my Facebook page, I critique them because I know them. I was one.
Right.
I was one, and I wasn't a perfect cop. And I can see how cops can get, angry, annoyed, impatient, hurt. Physically hurt.
Right.
In altercations, how things can go bad really fast. At a scene of something, you respond to something and everything's calm and all of a sudden you're fighting for your life.
Yeah,
and same thing at a peaceful protest.
I know.
Peaceful protest can be great and then something can just... things can just go off,
Did you happen to, because we're going to run so low on time, did you happen to see the videos of, there's a police sheriff in Genesee County in... his name is Chris Swanson, and he's in Michigan. They did a little thing on him last night on CNN. He actually was so sweet. He took off, big burly guy. He took off his his gear, and he crossed the line and he said, "I want to march with you guys." And it was one of the most beautiful things I ever saw. And then they literally they all hugged. They all started hugging. I was like, oh my God, this guy is so amazing. And you can tell he's a coach or one of those great type of guys. And then there's another one that I want to give a shout out to. And Denver police chief, his name is Paul Pace, which could be Pache. And he did the same thing. He actually locked arms with the protesters and walked with them. And he is a police chief in Denver. And I just think like, I know it seems like, you know, these pipe dreams I have, but those are my dreams for this country. That we could say like, we are the same. Like, I understand, you know, my job's hard, your job's hard. No, I don't know what it's like.
I gotta tell you, I'm gonna say this about one of the last things I'm gonna say is we asked me how do I take it, but you know who I always every day, and even when I was a cop, I used to feel sorry for.
Who?
Because most of the protests I went were anti-police protests.
Right.
And a lot of them in those days were led by Al Sharpton. Remember those days
Of
in
course.
the 80s and 90s?
Yeah.
I feel bad still to this day. Cops, you know, people of color that wear a blue uniform.
All right. That's
because
a really.
they're put in a position. They're put in a different position than me.
Right.
Okay, so black cops are out there at protests and riots and rallies, and it's got to be really, really hard for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
All right, Sue, you and I could talk for days on end.
We could.
Oh my God, I love to.
It's a big subject. It's a big subject.
And thank you for your honesty tonight, and we're going to continue this conversation. What I'm going to do is I told Kenney, and I'm thinking in a few weeks down the line, let's see, hopefully things quiet down, and then I'll bring you and Kenney back on, and we'll do another follow-up show, okay?
All right, buddy. Love you.
I love you so much, honey.
Be safe there, buddy.
You
all
too.
Right, stay safe.
Bye. That was sorry.
Right, pray
yes.
Pray for our country.
That's all we can
it.
do. That's all we can do,
Yep.
right? All right, honey. Thank you, honey. I love you.
Buddy, take care. Love you too.
Sergeant Sue, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Okay, so we got to be coming to the end of our show, right, Jimmy? How much time do we have? I think we're coming to the end of our show. Okay, so let me just say this. We could go on for days about this. I want to thank everybody for their comments. And I see some comments that came through, and I think some of you may have missed some of the... Go back and watch the show, because there's a lot of information that perhaps you didn't hear. And Kenney Green was on. He explained Black Lives Matter and why they say Black Lives Matter. We talked about Colin Kaepernick and why you kneel, and that was a peaceful protest. And Sergeant Sue from the NYPD called in. She's a retired NYPD sergeant. Amazing insight. And Bobby Belfry wrote this beautiful song called Ear of the World. I want you guys to go and listen to it on YouTube or anywhere. And it says, if you ever have the ear of the world, do something beautiful. Say something beautiful. So maybe I've had the ear of a few of you, and that is my privilege. And I don't take it lightly, and I wanted to do something productive and beautiful in this very dark, horrible, destructive, scary time. Please be safe, everybody. I'm praying for you. Please pray for me. And hopefully we'll see each other next week. Okay? God bless you all. I think our show's over because we've gone over a little bit. I love you guys, and I appreciate you. God bless you.